Hi everyone, myself Vamsi Krishna. In this video, I am going to show you how to deploy Spring Boot applications to EKS cluster using Ansible Playbook. And we are going to create a CI/CD pipeline in Jenkins. And in that CI/CD pipeline, we are going to deploy Spring Boot application to EKS cluster using Ansible Playbook. For this session, we need certain prerequisites and we need infrastructure for this session as well. And for installing Java, Git, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, you can refer my other videos. And in this, I have already installed them pre-handed. Let me show you the installations one by one. I already have Java installed, Java F1 version. If you see, Java is already installed. And then I already have Git installed. And then I already have Maven installed. And then I already had Docker also installed. Basically, I have done the setup already so that I can concentrate more on CI/CD pipeline and Ansible Playbook. For these installations, you can refer my other videos where I have showed how to install Java, Maven, Git, and Jenkins and Docker. After this setup is ready, we need to install Ansible on this machine. In my prerequisites list, Java, Git, Maven, Jenkins, Docker is already done. Next, we need to install Ansible because we are going to write Ansible playbook to deploy our application to EKS cluster. For that, you can just use Amazon Linux extras, install Ansible 2 because I am using Amazon Linux 2 for this particular session. Ansible is installed and then we need to install Python as well because we are going to use OpenShift module to deploy to Kubernetes cluster. To use OpenShift module, we need to have Python installed. I'm installing Python 3. Once we have Python 3 installed, we can use pip3 to install OpenShift module. If you see in the successfully installed list, you will have Kubernetes as well. Now we have the setup ready. And next, I already created a EKS cluster. For that also, you can refer my other videos. In this, I will show the cluster which I already have with kubectl command. You can go to the Amazon Linux to install. You can simply say kubectl get nodes. If you have created the cluster already, you can see the nodes. I created a 2-node cluster. With this setup in place, I'll start executing the steps one by one for the integration. Let us go to Jenkins UI, and from the Jenkins UI, we will get started with installing couple of plugins. Go to Manage Jenkins and go to Manage Plugins. In the available section, we need Pipeline AWS Steps plugin. For accessing EKS cluster. Pipeline AWS Steps is the plugin, and Maven integration plugin as well. You can select in any order. Maven integration plugin. Along with this, you need Kubernetes plugin as well for configuring kubeconfig. I have done all this configuration in other videos as well. You can refer other videos for integrating Jenkins shared library, Docker, and Kubernetes with Jenkins. Yeah, now the plugins were installed successfully. Let us go back to the Jenkins page. And in the Jenkins page, we need to configure the credentials. This credentials is for accessing the EKS cluster and accessing Docker Hub. If you see, I already have the global credentials set. One is for Docker, another one is for Kubernetes config. Next, we can create AWS credentials for accessing EKS cluster. And here you can mention ID as AWS underscore credentials. For that, you need to refer the pipeline in my GitHub. Whatever you mentioned in the pipeline, same ID you need to keep it in Jenkins as well. Go to Spring Cloud Kubernetes project. Inside that you have Kubernetes config map reload. Inside this you have a Jenkins file for Ansible deployment. You need to see what exactly I am using in the credentials ID. It will be under AWS credentials. With credential it is AWS underscore credentials. You have to keep the same name whatever is there in the pipeline. Access key ID and secret access key you will get if you create IAM user in AWS management console. I already created a user. I am replacing access key and secret key in Jenkins. You can click on OK and these credentials also will be saved. Now we have AWS credentials and Docker Hub credentials and kubeconfig file credentials. We can start creating global tool configuration for Maven as well, because I'm going to build Spring Boot application in this session. As Spring Boot application is Java applications we have to build using Maven. We are configuring Maven in the global tool configuration. You can click on add Maven and name Maven 3, and Maven home I kept under /opt. You can just say -version. You can copy the location of that. Maven home is under OPT Apache Maven 3.6.3. Now click on apply and save. And you may need to configure Jenkins shared library as well. If not, our CI/CD pipeline may break because we are using common shared library for all of our CI/CD pipelines. For that, go to configure system, and in the configure system, you need to look for global pipeline libraries, and in the pipeline library you need to mention what is your library, basically Jenkins shared library, what is the default branch, master branch, and where is that located. It is located under my GitHub repository. Just make sure whether you have this already set or not. Once this is set, you can start creating the CI/CD pipeline. Click on new item and just say deploy Spring Boot application to ELK. Deploy Spring Boot application to ELK using Ansible playbook. To EKS cluster using Ansible playbook. You can give small name also, it's up to you. I am just keeping this. Select pipeline and click on OK. And select the pipeline tab. Under the pipeline section, we need to copy paste our Jenkins file for Ansible deployment. It is already present in my GitHub. You can just copy the content and paste it here. And here, the first step would be a parameterized build where you need to pass what is your action, whether you want to create or roll back, and then what is your image name, image tag, and application name, and Docker repo, so that anyone can build their own application with this pipeline. And then we are using tools. Under the tools, I mentioned Maven, which is nothing but Maven 3. Under the stages, I have Git checkout stage, build Maven stage, Docker build and push stage, and Docker cleanup stage, and deploying to Kubernetes stage. Under each stage, we have different steps. You can go through that. You will understand easily. Let us apply and save the pipeline and start executing the pipeline. First time you can click on build now. If you want, we can set up a GitHub webhook trigger as well, but I'm not doing webhook for this particular video. I will do a detailed video end to end with webhook as well. Now it failed. We need to mention the project name, image name, image tag, application name, Docker repo is Vamsi Tech Tutorials. This is my Docker repo. Click on build. Now you can see the console output. It started downloading the artifacts from Maven repository, and this is success, and it failed saying is the Docker daemon running. As we are trying to do Docker build, seems like Docker is not running. Let me check the status and run the Docker. Service Docker status. It's not running. Let us run the Docker. Service Docker start. And we need to add Jenkins user to Docker group, so that we will not get permission denied when we are trying to build Docker from Jenkins. For that, you can say user mod -a -g, group name is Docker and user is Jenkins. Okay, let us restart the pipeline, rebuild the pipeline. I'm giving version 1, application name is same, Docker repo is Vamsi Tech Tutorials. This parameterized build is just to give you the facility to build any application, whatever you want at runtime. Now it is done and Docker image is building, and Docker image is successful and Docker login is also successful. Now it is pushing the Docker images to Docker Hub. It is also done. Now Ansible is success. Ansible playbook is also executed successfully. Now we'll go and see whether deployments are running or not in Kubernetes cluster. kubectl get deployments. Deployments, it's running, and it is running 3 replicas. We can see the pods also. kubectl get pods. If you see 3 pods are running. And for this, let me show you the load balancer which got created, because I exposed the service as load balancer. This is the load balancer you got, and both are out of service as of now. Meanwhile, I will show you the Kubernetes service as well. Let me go to Amazon Linux cluster and we can see the service as well. kubectl get service, and I have given the service type as load balancer. That is the reason external IP is a load balancer URL. All these deployment and service types I have mentioned in the GitHub repo itself. If you go to the GitHub repo, you will have deployment YAML and service YAML also. If you see this, you have deployment.yml. In deployment.yml file, I mentioned the replicas as 3. That's why it created 3 pods. And the kind is deployment, and replicas are 3, meaning it will create 3 pods. And in the spec containers, I have mentioned the image, which is a dynamic image ID. We are not hard coding so that it can build any application. The image is image ID, and the ports, container port, I am opening 8080. And for this deployment, I created a service as well, so that we can access it from outside network. In the service, I am exposing the deployment. If you see, the kind is service and the type is load balancer, and I have mentioned the port as 8080 HTTP. Because of the type load balancer, it created a AWS load balancer. Now we'll go back to AWS load balancer and check whether the services are in service or not. Okay, now the instances are in service. Now we can go to description, copy the DNS name, access this from the browser UI. I am accessing :8080/home/data. This is the API exposed in the code. Let me go back to code and show you this URL. We are getting the response. In Spring Cloud Kubernetes, go to src main Java, src main Java, and inside this we have Rust controller, and inside this we have home resource. Here the API was exposed as /home at root level on the class level and data at the method level. That is the reason I am accessing /home/data. If you take any different code base, you need to provide your corresponding URL. This is the load balancer URL, and this is how we are accessing it. As the deployment is done, if you want to delete this infrastructure on your setup, you can just say kubectl delete service and the service name. You can just give kubectl delete service and the service name which you got from the name. Service is deleted. You can go to load balancer and see that will be deleted. In the same way, if you want to delete deployment, you can say kubectl delete deployment and give the deployment name. deployment also deleted. If you see the deployments, there are no deployments yet. We can do this in an automated way also. I just showed you from the command line. You can create one more option in the build parameter, and whenever you select rollback or destroy, you can delete these things on the fly. But I showed you from the command line. You can do it in other ways as well. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel.